Hey vinyl fans, welcome to another episode of Let's Clean a Record. I'm your cleaning guy. For today's episode, we're going to do a comparison between two special kind of record cleaning fluids. Ones that have both a record cleaning fluid as well as an enzymatic formula mixed together. That can be very helpful for pre-cleaning a very dirty record, or some guys like to use it just as a standard cleaning fluid followed by a pure water rinse. We're going to compare two of them. Our go-to for many years has been AIVS number 15 formula. AIVS stands for Audio Intelligence Vinyl Solutions. We're going to compare that to a new one we just picked up called Phoenix. We just got that. We haven't used it yet, so we'll open it together and give it a try. We're going to clean one side of an album with the AIVS, one side with the Phoenix. We'll kind of watch it through the process, see how it lathers up and so forth, and of course we'll give it a listen and tell you what we think. As far as the record we've chosen, wanted to turn you on to this record label, Three Blind Mice. Some of you older guys are going to know this. This is wonderful jazz out of Japan. It's recorded in the early 70s, a time in which traditional jazz was going through a, shall we say, rough patch. These guys got together and played some really beautiful stuff. This particular album is under the name of Isao Suzuki. He is the bassist and cellist, and that's really kind of a cool thing to hear a cello mixed in with a traditional jazz trio or quartet. And I will say this label produces some of the finest sounding, from an audiophile perspective, the finest sounding recordings that you can get. Just beautiful. Another cool thing about it, if you look on the back, you get the layout of where the instruments were in the studio and what microphones they used on each of those instruments. I think that's a nice touch. This particular album is called Blow Up. It's from 1973. Highly recommend this one. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to testing our record cleaning fluid plus enzymatic formula solutions. Let's clean this record. Okay, fellas, hey, before we get to our comparison between the two record cleaning formulas with enzymatic solutions, I wanted to mention that we recently did an episode where we featured this product. This is a sample of Last's Power Cleaner. It's intended to be used on a brand new vinyl right out of the packaging to remove any contaminants that may remain after the pressing. Well, if you saw that episode, you noted that we really didn't hear much of a difference at all. And since then, I've tried a few more pressings, brand new ones, with the same conclusion. Now, we followed the manufacturer's instructions in applying this using this teeny tiny little brush. We're going to try it again in an upcoming episode, and I just wanted to give you a sneak preview of that. But what we're going to do is, rather than just kind of smear it on there, we're going to put it onto a suction type machine, in our case the VPI, and use a proper brush to really get it in the groove and see if that makes any difference. And I did pick up a couple of records to try that. Christian McBride and Evan Meyer, two bassists. How cool is that? And also the wonderful John Coltrane, his Ballads album. So that's something to look forward to. But for now, we're going to stick with our Phoenix versus AIVS number 15. So let's get to that. We will apply to side A the AIVS number 15. To side B, we'll try the new Phoenix formula. We've got separate wands and columns for each, and separate brushes for each. And of course, we'll follow up with a pure water rinse. Note what nice lather works up with the AIVS number 15. It's almost as good as Lauric de Sang and some of the other record cleaning fluids that have a really great sudsing action. I think it's excellent in that regard. So this kind of record cleaning fluid and enzymatic format can make a great pre-soak if you just wanted to leave it on there for a bit. In this case though, we're just going to go right to cleaning it as though, because it is the only cleaning process that we're going to give other than a pure water rinse. But really a big fan of the AIVS number 15. Good stuff. Okay, let's get it off there. Since we're going to be using the same column and wand for the Phoenix, let's go ahead and clean this off and get it prepped. We'll use a separate wand for the pure water rinse. Make sure we remove any contaminants there. Excellent. Okay, pure water rinse. Note all of our brushes were pre-cleaned before we started this process. Something we'd like to do for an upcoming episode is to thoroughly check out all of the cleaning products that AIVS offers. And they have quite a few of them. Some of the record cleaning fluids will contain alcohol, some do not, some are specifically for shellacs. Really a broad offering, and we're in the process of acquiring all of their various products for an upcoming episode, so something to look forward to. Let's go ahead and get this onto side B. Clean off any debris. Ditto for the record. And you will, check it out. Can you see that? You will pick up little tiny pieces of cork. Want to blow those off. Or use a dry carbon fiber brush to wipe them off. Ongoing debate as to which is preferable, the Giotto blaster or the carbon fiber brush. Let's give that one other. We already washed it. Get that ready to go. Okay, before we start, first thing I want to do is try to figure out what's in this. One of the disappointing things about Phoenix is they do not tell you what is in the product. At least that I couldn't find. I couldn't find it anywhere. If any of you fellas know what the ingredients are in this, please comment below. But I couldn't find anything on it. Not even the purity of the water that's used. That's something I really wish that manufacturers would do. AIVS doesn't do it either. Again, not that I could find. So I don't know. That's a suggestion for the record cleaning fluid industry out there. Tell us what you put in there. I realize you don't want to reveal any secrets, any trade secrets, but you could tell us at least the purity of the water that you use. I think that would be helpful. Let's first decide, does this have any alcohol in it? I don't know. We'll be able to smell it if it does. I don't smell alcohol, so I'm going to guess none. If it is, it's a very small amount. Something like Last's record clean machine fluid has quite a bit of alcohol in it, something like 20%, which is okay. It's not going to harm the record as long as you don't leave it on there too long. Okay, let's get to trying out Phoenix. I like the bottle. I like the way it dispenses the liquid.
And it's cobalt blue, come on.
Yeah, pretty color too. Okay, we have a separate brush for this. Let's spread it out and do our thing. You know what? I'm going to retract what I said before. Now that it's spread out on the record, I can smell some alcohol, some isopropyl alcohol, so it has some. Bet it's not a high percentage as Last's product. Not a bad lather. In my experience, though, the higher the percentage of alcohol, the less likely it is to lather up. But there may not be a strict correlation between those two, but that is something I've experienced. This is doing a pretty good job, though. Getting some good bubbles. I don't think quite as much as we would see with something like Lard du Son, but of course that has no enzymatic properties to it. This is doing nice. Not too bad at all. Remember, fellas, I'm using a light touch here. You don't want to drive the dirt deeper into the groove. You want to lift it out. Well, that did a pretty good job, at least from a visual perspective, of how much lather we brought up with the agitation process. Let's go ahead and give it a clear water rinse, and then we'll do the most important thing and listen to both sides. You can tell there's still some surfactant on there, but not too much. And that water spreads out evenly. There's still a remnant of whatever surfactant was used in the record cleaning fluid. By the way, you might be asking, why do we want to consider a enzymatic formula mixed in with record cleaning fluid? Well, the idea is that for anything that's organic, an enzymatic formula will help to remove that. So one of the things that AIVS number 15 is particularly good at is with an old record that was in a smoker's home. If you ever found something an old record out of a garage sale or something like that, and it smelled a little bit like old tobacco, AIVS does an excellent job of removing those particles and getting rid of that smell. And that's due to the enzymatic formula. Of course, AIVS also makes a pure enzymatic formula, which we have reviewed before, and that does a fantastic job at removing any organic material. Okay, let's get this water off the vinyl. Okay, well, at first glance, both did a pretty good job of lathering up the surface of the vinyl. It felt right. I think we've got a fairly Comparable products here. Clearly, the Phoenix has some isopropyl alcohol in it. So if you favor that, you might prefer that over the AIVS. But most importantly, let's go get this a listen and we'll tell you what we think. Okay, final thoughts and for the record. Musically speaking, I do recommend anything from Three Blind Mice, particularly from that early to mid 70s era. Would it replace for me Mingus, Duke Ellington, Coltrane, Miles Davis? No, it's not on that level. But what we hear here is a strong footing in the traditions of jazz, and clearly these guys are having a ball playing the music, and that says something. From an audiophile perspective, you guys out there playing your ethnic jazz to parade your snaz on your 5 grand stereos, you must get something from Three Blind Mice. The quality of the recording from an audiophile perspective is off the charts, really that good. One thing I wanted to mention, you might notice that I have a clear outer sleeve on this. I don't tend to do that a lot. Some guys do. Well, they'll put the original outer in and the records with the inner sleeve in the back like that. Perfectly reasonable way to do it. I only tend to do it when the original outer is in bad shape, or if there's a valuable sticker on there, or in this case, an obi strip. These are from Mobile Fidelity. They're only ones I've ever used. If you use these frequently and have used other brands, I'd love to hear from you. Comment below. I want to check out some other ones just to see and compare. Okay, let's talk about Phoenix versus AIVS number 15. They both did a commendable job, and I heard no difference between side A and side B. So I would say, if you like a little bit of isopropyl alcohol in your mixture of record cleaning fluid and enzymatic solution, you probably would prefer the Phoenix. But they both did the job well. I tend to prefer these kind of mixtures as a pre-clean with a very dirty record. So I will try the Phoenix again. I want to find something that is old with lots of dirt on it. We'll pre-clean it with that kind of mixture and then get into some alternative cleaning solution. So that's something to look forward to in the future. Until then, we'll see you at the next record.